you know what it's like when you're out the team. You end up feeling like you're not good enough, and it's hard to keep that sort of belief in yourself. I mean, I don't know if you remember, I wasn't like the fittest, but I was up there. And I think that sort of put me into Darryl Clark's sort of mindset of, oh, he's a fit lad. Like, and I remember my first training, my first day there, and we did a kickball session. I was awful. Like, it was like a little, I think, you know, the little box. And I was so, like, the pace was so quick that I couldn't get to grips with it. And I remember him walking off, like, put his arm around me. He goes, "Don't worry, that's not your thing, that, is it?" And I just thought, you know, if you're on trial, have you ever been on trial?
I have been, yeah. I have been on trial, yeah.
You think about all the bad things that you've done that day. You say you go out, you're driving home after training. You don't think about the good things that you've done. You think about, like, the bad stuff, and it, like, haunts you. You're like, oh, like that pass I did, like.
So you didn't want to get judged in that moment as the manager thinks that I can't do that.
Yeah.
And you think within yourself, you think, but I can. I didn't show it in that moment.
Yeah. Like, it's just, obviously the speed's a lot different, isn't it? So it's just getting, obviously the next day I was a bit better and better. And then I was used to it. And I felt good.
Let's strip it back a little bit, because there's going to be a lot of people watching this. And we've spoken a little bit beforehand about opportunity being obviously the main theme of what we're talking about. And people knowing how to create an opportunity. So you're playing at Hayes and Yeading. You're doing quite well personally. You feel like you're capable of playing higher. What immediate steps did you take within that time to move on?
So I just went off my own back and thought, like, obviously we got sent full clips of the games, and I downloaded, like, some app on my laptop and got all the clips and clipped them all into one video. It was like 13 minutes long or something. I can't remember who I sent it to. I think I sent it to the UK Armed Forces manager at the time, and he was mates with Danny Coles, or mates with a friend of Danny Coles. And he sent it to him, and then he sent it to Colesy. I think he then sent it to Darryl Clark, because I think they were looking for a centre half.
At this point, you've had no real feedback from anybody else.
No.
Saying to you,
I think I put it on YouTube, and people were just like, you know, liking it and things like that. But
this was.
I didn't expect anything to really come of it.
It was all off your own back.
All off my own back. Yeah, I made the video myself. Yeah, it sounds a bit, but it helps. Do you know what I mean? And Danny Coles, obviously, we know him, but he's an agent. Yeah, he's an agent, yeah.
Had you had any exposure to agents before that moment?
A couple of, like, you know, like the sort of people who look around, like non-league and things like that. But I wasn't signed with anyone.
What was your opinion during that time of what an agent's role was for like a footballer's career?
Well, just to put them out there and sort of speak to managers and things like that. But obviously, the being a good agent's having contacts in it. So, you know, there's a lot of agents in football, like non-league and stuff, going, "Oh yeah, I'll get you a club," but they don't actually know anyone within the pro game to be able to get you the club. So obviously, finding out that this particular agent was an ex-player and that he can get me a trial, I didn't even know who it was going to be with. Like, I just had a phone call from that UK. I didn't even speak to the agent myself. It was from the UK Armed Forces manager, Nick. And he just rang me, goes, "Oh, I got a trial with Bristol Rovers, like, in 2 weeks."
Had you any understanding of what Danny Coles' role was going to be for you?
No.
So you weren't aware of what clubs he was trying to get in contact with?
No, because apparently, obviously this was after I'd signed for Rovers. I found out that if it didn't work out at Rovers, they were going to send me on trial to Gillingham.
Right.
So he must have had, yeah.
So there was possible at that time, there was options, but you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that, no.
So when you get the news, you get the feedback, you've spoken to the Armed Forces manager, you've spoken to, obviously, this agent, calls you almost immediately, says you've got a trial at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
What emotions are you going through in that moment?
I'm thinking, like, nerves really straight away. I'm like, wow, like, and then I'm like, it's pre-season. I hate pre-season, like, because I know it's just going to be running, and they're professional athletes, so I need to get fit. It was almost immediately. I was like, I rung my mate. I was like, you need to help me out here, mate.
Up until that point, how had you been training?
I've been doing this. Obviously, in the army, you have to keep fit anyway. But like, I think I'd just been to the Ascension Islands, where I hadn't even played football for ages. And obviously, the season had finished anyway, so I hadn't really kicked a ball for a while. And I was thinking, wow, like, I need to do ball work. I need to get fit, like. And I was panicking, thinking I've only got a couple of weeks.
So you were moving into, obviously, going on trial to professional environment.
Yeah.
You knew within yourself you had the capability of playing to that level, but you hadn't prepared up to that moment. No, probably how you would have wanted to.
How I wanted to, yeah, yeah.
So what was that 2 or 3 weeks like?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, my mate Neil Riley, I love that I've shouted him out as well. He's real good PT in the army. Like, it makes things fun as well in the army. Like, all the lads love him. But like, he was doing yo-yo tests, we were doing like lamppost runs, but he would do it all with me. He wouldn't make me do it on my own. He'd do it all with me. He's a machine. So, and then obviously we'd have the little 4G pitch, like the little cage thing near where our block was, where we lived, and we'd just be like pinging balls and that to each other, just getting the touch going. He helped me loads, like getting prepared for that. And then obviously I went there feeling quite confident with the runs, because I know that some footballers, even though professionals, like, they go on holiday for the whole summer. Some of them do nothing and then come back. So I was sort of, I don't know, like top sort of 4 fitness wise. It depends what sort of run it was. If it was like a longer distance one, it's not really my thing. But like the short like interval running and things like that, I'd done a lot of that preparing, so I felt good.
What was your perception before you went into Bristol Rovers about what a professional footballer looked like what a professional football environment was?
I tried not to think about it too much, because I knew basically I had trials and that when I was a kid, and I always let like my own thoughts sort of, or other people's opinions like affect my trial, which I think a lot of people probably suffer with as well. So like, I thought to myself, like, people aren't going to want me here because I'm potentially going in to take someone's position. They're going to make my time difficult. Like the Rovers lads didn't, but they didn't make it easy either. Like, let's face it, no one really talks to the trialists that much today. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do a bit more now because I've been there, but it's just how it goes. Like, no one really, like, especially if they're in your position, you're like, I don't want him like signing in. He's going to take my place.
It's definitely a tough environment to come into as a trialist. Yeah. During that first training session, you've just touched on it before about in that box about not feeling like you'd given your best. Were you aware of the level that you were going to have to raise your game up to? Yeah,
definitely. I was sort of panicking a little bit, thinking it gets you questioning yourself. Do you know what I mean? But then it's always, you know, like if you make a bad pass, just make a nice easy one, like get yourself in credit. I started doing like little bounce passes, just to get yourself in credit, and it builds the confidence and things like that. And as the days went on, I felt more and more confident.
Is that the first moment? I mean, you've got to a point where you feel that good about yourself that you're putting yourself out there to play professional football. Is that the first moment that you questioned where you're at?
Yeah, like, in what way? Like, question where I'm at, like,
in terms of, so you felt like before you came on trial, you felt like you were at that level.
Yeah. But then I was like, am I actually good enough?
Did you question that?
Yeah, because I mean, you had the usual lads, you know, some lad, you give it away and, you know, you get the little lads going like, you don't know if they're talking about you and things like that. And it makes you think like, oh, am I good enough? Like, they don't want me here. But I was that, coming in, I was that focused. Like, I just ignored everything that everyone else said. And I just like, I didn't care, you know, like some people come in and they're afraid to like tackle someone in case like the player like hates. I didn't really care. Like I was like, I'm not leaving anything here. Like I didn't want to regret being like I could have done more to get that contract, and like obviously I did get it, so I was buzzing. Yeah.